ladies and gentlemen, this is your friendly neighborhood GVE Dr. Jimmy with a special video for you today. This is not the raffle draw videos that we usually do. This is a special video wherein I give some tips regarding this coming Esports Festival 2015. Today is August 18. We are 3 days away. And I feel like, we've added a whole lot more games. So I believe there will be more people joining, and for many of you, it may be your first time joining a tournament, or you may not be as, as confident or anything. You're not sure what to expect. You don't know if you should do this or that. So today I'm giving you 5 tips when joining gaming tournaments. These are 5 practical tips to help keep you at a tip-top shape and give you the best situation possible. Okay, now this has nothing to do with any specific game. This is very general, so anyone from any game can use these 5 tips. So let's start at number 5, or let's start at tip number 1. Actually, tip number 1 is having a positive attitude. Now, when going to tournaments, or let's say you're out of town and you're traveling to competition, chances are you'll be facing the best of the best, and sometimes like you might be afraid that you will lose or something, so hope for the best but expect the worst. If you lose, then take it with a positive attitude. Depending on the format that you have, let's say for example the format of the tournament, it might be double elimination. So if you lose one match, don't worry, gather yourself, you have a second match. And if you lose your second match, then don't worry about it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't blame your teammates if you're playing a team game. Just keep a positive attitude and find ways to get better in the next tournament. That way you don't spoil the mood, and you still keep you can still enjoy the event itself. And of course, tip number 2 is this basically applies to people who are out of town, or maybe like if you're far from Cebu and you're moving here, or you'll be traveling here for the event. Stay at a hotel or near the venue, and always be early. And this especially goes out to the travelers, especially like people from Manila who'll be coming. Traveling can be an extremely tiring experience, and you would not want to tire yourself just by getting to the venue, and because of that you won't have enough energy to play at your best. So and you know what, the last thing that you want to do is get disqualified because you are late. You have not even had the chance to fight, but you had already lost. And most big tournaments, especially tournaments like this, they have a very, very strict strict rule on time. You have to be on time. They may give you 5-10 minute allowance, but if you are late, they will not hesitate to disqualify you. So make sure that you are nearby, if not at least 5-10 minutes away. And this is Cebu. Everything is 15 minutes away by taxi, right? And there are a lot of great options for you to go to. One of the great options that I can recommend is Bayfront Hotel, which is of course our partner for this year. If you want to book at Bayfront Hotel and get a 10% discount, feel free to contact me. I will give you the information that you need to get that 10% discount, or send us a message on Phil Esports on Facebook. And yeah, what else do we have here? Of course, you have to be early at the venue. This gives you a chance to scout your competition and discuss strategies with your friends and teammates. So the earlier you get, you can warm up with your game and everything, or even set up, especially if you're playing a game like a PC game where you bring your own keyboard and mouse. Speaking of keyboard and mouse, my tip number 3 is bringing the right equipment. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, be it a console game, let's say like Street Fighter and Tekken for this year, or even Dota, Dota 2, LOL, Hearthstone. Bring the right equipment, especially for like PC games, because when you use high-end peripherals, whether you use high-end peripherals or humble generic equipment, it is important that you use the equipment that you are comfortable with. I'm not sure what event this was, but there was an event where the players were not comfortable with the keyboard that they were using. So if possible, provide your own equipment so that you can be at your tip top best. I mean, not everyone has their own like gaming keyboard or something, but get something from, you know, from Genius, or I don't know if I'm allowed to say that brand, but yeah, you know, get a keyboard that you're comfortable with, and ensure that you know what equipment will be provided. For example, for the console games, let's say for Street Fighter, we're going to be using Xbox 360. So if you're bringing your own arcade your controller or arcade stick, please make sure that you're bringing it for Xbox. For Tekken, it's going to be PS3. Make sure to bring PS3 controllers, or if you have an adapter, then make sure to bring that. Alrighty, because you know, your equipment and your weapons for war can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Tip number 4 is something I think many people overlook, and that is, tip number 4 is to eat light. Never eat a full meal before you go into your game or a tournament. Like, as you know, most of my tips actually come from my favorite fighting game player, Gutex, so you can check him out on YouTube, YouTube/CrossCounter. They say, they have a saying, stay hungry to play hungry. I mean, literally. And you don't want to stuff yourself with, like, I don't know, with double rice, fried chicken, large Coke. Like, when you're super full, you know, you feel like, oh my god, I'm so full, you know, like. And when come game time, and when you sit down, like, you will still feel the fullness of the meal that you ate, and that will in turn affect your reflexes, your reaction times, your dexterity, right? So eat light. A couple of good things to eat before a meal would be like vegetables, fruits, nuts, dark chocolate, sandwiches, right? And of course, keep yourself hydrated all the time. I don't know if we have water sponsors this year, but yeah, keep like a 2-liter bottle of water and stay hydrated the whole time. And finally, tip number 5 I have for you is record all your matches. And this is very, very useful, especially for after the tournament, where you need to study what you need to improve, or you know, to see what your mistakes are, so you can learn and not make those same mistakes again. This applies to all games, be it Dota 2, Hearthstone, LOL, Street Fighter, Tekken. Make sure to have a let's say for games like Street Fighter, like, you know, have your phone camera ready. Ask your friend to record your match, or if it's not recorded by the live stream, then of course you can bring a tripod with a camera and then like put it there on the side and record your matches. Or if you're playing games like Dota 2, you get the match replay VOD and discuss with your friends, because if you lose this year, it is not the end of the world. There are so many more tournaments waiting. There is still next year for Esports Festival. And in the long run, you know, when you rewatch your matches, even though you lose, you will get better. I know it hurts when you watch yourself lose, but it is for the betterment of your skill and your play, and it helps you become a better player. It helps you learn to accept defeat, be a good sport. Because hey, this is esports. So those are my 5 tips. Let's review them real quick. Tip number 1, have a positive attitude. If you lose, stay positive. Don't get salty. Number 2, stay at the venue. Stay at the hotel near the venue, or stay with friends who are near SM, so that you don't have to travel really far. Number 3, bring the right equipment. Know what system the tournament will be using, if they'll be providing mouse or keyboards. Last year, you know, we had our friends from Razer who provided the mouse and keyboards and headsets for the main stage. Thank you so much, Razer. And yeah, tip number 4 is eat light. Do not stuff yourself with so much food, because it will ruin your reflexes and your like overall performance as a player. And number 5, record your matches, review, find out how you can get better, and come back stronger next year. So that's it for my 5 tips for joining tournaments, for joining this esports festival this year. I hope that helps you, and good luck, have fun, and enjoy the festivities. This has been your friend and neighborhood GVE Dr. Jimmy signing off. Bye bye.